We now have a virtual machine up and running with all the tools we need to perform penetration tests. Let's learn the toolkit and get comfortable with this brand new system first. Then we will use those tools to our advantage. The desktop we have in front of our eyes is a Linux distribution. You can see a distribution as a flavor. There are many different flavors, and for the most part, the only difference between each of them is just the software that is pre-installed. Kali Linux is made for penetration testing. As such, it comes with plenty of hacking software out of the box, which makes it a great system for beginners. Please consider that there is no best operating system for hacking. Virtually any Linux system can be a great pen testing box. Even Windows can be turned into a pen testing box if you really wanted to. Just like Windows, it is possible to do almost everything with commands using the terminal. The terminal is a very important feature for penetration testing because we are going to enumerate and poke around computers using scripts. There are so many tools that we end up using as a pen tester that, if everything was a graphical interface, it will end up being unmanageable. This, coupled with the fact that Linux allows much more tinkering than on commercial OSs, means that mastering the terminal is a crucial skill for us. The terminal is this box where we write some commands and the system responds. Virtually anything you can think of, the terminal can do. It can list the different files available in the current directory, download a file, monitor resources, and even check for and send emails. It does all of those thanks to programs. You see, there are two kinds of software. You are most likely used to thinking of software as just something graphical because most commercial software is meant for the broadest audience possible. And as such, it uses graphical libraries and frameworks to make it as user-friendly as possible. But in reality, software can solely interact via text. This type of software is privileged when it comes to system administration. Not everything needs to have its own graphical window. Let's take Echo for example. If we redirect Echo's output to a text file thanks to the chevron symbol, then we can use cat to read the content of our file and realize that we actually wrote the content of Echo into the file. Not only was the use of a text editor not necessary, but during an assessment you might do a myriad of different actions, run scripts, test vulnerabilities of a specific application while performing another scan at the same time, which would be so much more manageable if everything could fit in a single window such as the terminal. Before teaching you all the wonders of the terminal, we should take a look at the permission system used in Linux. For security purposes, not all commands can be executed as an administrator, and not every file can be viewed or modified either. Otherwise, anyone could break the system or view anyone's private information. The administrator account, also known as the super user account, therefore has all the right over the system and is called root in Linux. In order to become root, we can use the su command, and a quick whoami will tell us that we are indeed the root user. Of course, it's not that easy to be the root user on anyone else's computer. Otherwise, the situation would be very dramatic, as you can probably imagine. Instead, there is a program called sudo that will act as the intermediate between the user and the root account. Thanks to it, it is possible to permit any user to use administrative privileges, but without having to provide all administrative powers. For example, sudo can be configured to only allow to update the system as root for a specific user. Now, let's learn some commands. pwd allows you to know exactly where you are in the file system. Alright, we are in Home Kali. What are the folders that are available in this directory? Let's use ls, and it will list all the different directories and files that we currently have in front of our eyes. Well, you can see that we have the text file, the hello world we used to have. Well, we can delete this file by using rm, and let's write text. Okay, let's enter the videos folder, for example. If we write v and press tab, it will autocomplete and tell us that we can enter the videos. Alright, so we've moved into the videos folder by using cd. How should we do if we want to move out of this directory? Well, cd has another command which is cd ... and thanks to it we go out of the videos folder and we are back into where we used to be. Now let's say that we are far away in the directory system. We are somewhere very far away from our home directory. Let's say that we are in etc init and we want to get back into our home folder. Well, there is something called the tilde sign slash, and we are quickly back into our home folder. So those are different tools we can use, different commands we can use in order to move around the file system. You can look around online for other Linux commands to do other things. You can, for example, search, well, how to edit a file, how to remove a directory. Everything you can do on a computer can be done through commands. Let's take a quick look into how to update the system. Remember we talked about sudo and the fact that we cannot have all the administrative powers as Kali, we have to be root. So updating the system is one of those powers. If we do update, then it will give us some permission errors, permission denied. But if you write the same command, but with sudo at the very beginning, all of a sudden, it updates the system for us. So that's the power of sudo. Thanks to it, you can do some specific actions that might break the system. There are some files, for example, that you may not want everyone to see. You may not want everyone to execute a specific program. You may not want to allow other users to delete some files, some folders, so you remove them the ability to removing things, and instead saying, well, I trust this specific user to remove only those specific files, and you can do that with sudo. You can create a configuration folder and just say, well, this is what I am explicitly allowing. Now let's move into file permissions. Upon running the command ls-la, we can find file permissions. File permissions are either read, write, or execute and are divided into three categories: the owner, the group, and the others. For example, if we stumble upon a directory, the letter D is going to show up. Then, if every permissions are allowed, we will see that the owner has read, write, and execution permission. The group owners also have read, write, and execution permissions, and all the other users also have read, write, and execution permissions. They are shown as R for read, W for write, and X for execution. This notion is very important when it comes to hacking. Having access to a target machine is one thing, but being able to spot a permission that allows you to have access to even more information is crucial, as it allows you to point out a misconfiguration or a flaw in the target security design. We can modify permissions on a file with the chmod command and a set of numbers. If you remember the section on how to count in binary, then it will automatically make sense to you. As you know, there are three permissions: read, write, and execute. Those can be seen as individual bits, either set to on or off. Binary being base 2 means that 1 bit equals to 1, 2 bit is 1 plus 2, and 3 bits is 1 plus 2 plus 4, which equates to 7. Remember also that there are three groups: the owner, the group, and the others. Therefore, if you wish to grant full permissions on a file, you just have to do chmod 777 on the target file. Since the chmod permissions are just binary, we can have the full table of all the permissions we can grant. And here is the table. Now a challenge for you. Can you figure out what number we should put together if I want to be able, as the owner, to read, write and execute the file, while only allowing the group to read and not allowing anyone else to do anything with the file? I'm letting you 5 seconds to pause the video, and if you think you got it, here's the answer. So we have a text file and we want to read, write and execute it, and only allowing the group to read it and not anything else. Well, the answer is chmod 740. As such, we can indeed read, write and execute it. The group can read it, and no other permissions are set.